Welcome back, Kaiju lovers. So this is another take 2 for Godzilla Reign of Kaiju characters. This is Biollante, giant plant monster, and this was another viewer request from Dire Kiwi. So thank you for the suggestion for checking out Biollante. This is a life build. I know a lot of people are going on, say, an earth build or a water build because you can spam referee jury, but I had a few other things in mind. So let's get into Biollante. Biollante is a 5 hand size 36 health character with the earth, life, and water symbols, and the giant and monster traits. We have enhance once per turn, during either player's turn. We get to add a card from our hand to our card pool face down, and then add any card from our discard pile to our hand. And then we also may spend 1 momentum, and if we do, we get to add another card from our discard pile to our hand. So we get to pick up 2 cards for the cost of 1 momentum and putting 1 card in our card pool from our hand. And like I said, this could be used during either player's turn, so we could pick up blocks, we could pick up attacks. It's really versatile. And then we have Enhance. This attack gets +1 or -1 damage for each face-down card in all players' card pools. So a lot of scaling damage, a lot of scaling damage reduction, and that's kind of what we're focused on here. So our attack lineup consists of Growing Grasp. This is a 3/4, a 3 low 4, EX3 throw, so it'll always deal at least half damage rounded up. EX3 means we can spend momentum to give it 3 speed per momentum spent. As a static, it doesn't count face down cards towards its progressive difficulty to play it, and that's offensively or defensively. So as long as we can keep our stage or card pool face down, we're always playing this either on a 5 or a +2 mid block. As a blitz, it gets +X damage. X equals the total number of cards in all card pools. This does include itself. So this is going to be a big bomb of a string ender, and kind of what we're aiming towards in Biollante. We have Plant Tendrils, a 4/3, 5 mid for 4, 1 low block with breaker 1, which means if we block with it, our rival's next check gets -1. As a response, after it resolves, we get to flip it, and that's just kind of what it's here for. It's here to become more damage boost for our later attacks. It's got a Deadlock Blitz that lets us ready 2 foundations, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that too much. It's mainly here to say, hey, I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to turn it face down, and it's just going to add to the damage boost to all of our future attacks. Hunter's Ally. So this is one of the main reasons I wanted to build on life. I know you can use it on Earth too as well, but there are some other life cards I wanted to use for this specific build. But Hunter's Ally is a card that is really skyrocketing in popularity now. It's a 4 high 5. As a blitz, we get to build in any ally card from our discard pile. So any ally in our discard, we can build into our stage. That's backups, assets, foundations, any of that stuff. So at worst, it's getting us an extra foundation. At best, it's getting us our backup that we're going to be showing off here in a minute. We have Rapid Rescue, another reason I wanted to build this off of life. I think this is a really cool tech piece for Biollante, because it's a 5 high 5, which is neat, but as a card pool response during our turn, we can flip it face down. After we play a foundation, build it. So we play this on a 5. 5 high 5, force our rival to deal with it. Then we play a foundation. We turn Rapid Rescue face down, automatically build that foundation so we have access to it immediately, mid-turn, and now Rapid Rescue counts for our damage boost for the rest of the turn. We got Smokescreen Charge, a 4 mid 4 with a 2 low block, breaker 2. So if we block with it, our rival's next check gets -2, which is really good. And as a static, if we have a face down card in our card pool, it automatically gets 3 damage. So it becomes a 4 mid 7, not including anything that we can put on it with Biollante. I think that's a really powerful thing. If we don't have the Growing Grasp, then picking up a Smokescreen Charge could be really cool for us as a string ender. And our last attack is Rose Whip Barrage. It's a 5 high 3 with Echo, which means after it resolves, we may spend a momentum. If we do, we try to play Rose Whip Barrage as our next form from our card pool. And then after we Echo it, if it resolves, we get to turn it face down. We have to turn it face down. So it counts again towards our face down count. As an enhance, if our rival has 2 or more cards in their card pool, this attack gets +3 damage. So if our rival's playing any sort of defense, we can boost damage on this, and we're not going to worry about the second enhance because we aren't playing more copies of Biollante, because we can't. So the whole idea of the attack lineup is to take advantage of Biollante's damage pump and having our attacks turn face down so that they can further increase our damage pump. Onto our assets, we've got Yeetus Deletus. This is a really cool champion card. It's a unique. We can only have one of it in our stage. As a form, we get to add it to our card pool face down, so it adds to Biollante's boost. And then our next attack this turn gets -3 difficulty and +3 damage. Imagine playing Growing Grasp on a 2 and giving it 3 damage plus the damage from all the cards in the card pools plus Biollante's damage. Really, really powerful here. Or on our turn, we have an enhance. We can remove Yeetus Deletus to add any card with a printed difficulty of 4 or less in our rival's stage to their card pool face down. So that counts towards Biollante's damage boost. And it clogs our rival's card pool, and we selectively get rid of their best defensive piece. So that's really, really neat. All around, Yeetus Deletus on life and water for Biollante, but it kind of fits with our life theme we got going on here, is really strong. And then defensively, we've got Eidenbox. It commits to turn any attack back to its printed status. So printed speed, printed damage, printed zone. And if it was considered unblockable, it is no longer considered unblockable. Just an automatic reset. And then we can Biollante damage reduce. It's really gross. Normally, 5-handers don't like to play actions, but I thought Unnatural Growth is really strong in Biollante. Because as a first enhance, the first thing that we do during any given enhance step, we can play Unnatural Growth, remove it. Each player adds the top card of their deck to their card pool. So I believe, since it is coming from a private zone, that card is added face down. I believe. I'm pretty sure. So if it does, it adds to Biollante's damage boost and damage reduction. If it still adds face up, that's still good for some good defense, clogging your rival's card pool defensively, because Biollante can still do damage reduction things, and making your rival's turns harder to play is still really good. But of course, the pièce de résistance here is our backup Rayfilet Singing Stingray. This is a backup from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that is seeing a lot of play right now. It's a 4 stamina backup, so it has 4 health, but it has the elusive keyword, which means your rival's first attack cannot target this card. So our rival will have to play an attack on Biollante, and then they'll have to attack Rayfilet. But what's cool is Biollante's damage reduction can actually help protect Rayfilet. Because if we can reduce the damage below 4, our rival will have to attack again. And as the response says, after this backup is attacked, our rival puts the top card of their deck into their card pool face down, which boosts Biollante's damage reduction, which says, keep attacking my Stingray, I'm just going to make sure you can never kill it. And then as an enhance on our turn, our rival puts the top card of their deck in their card pool face down, which boosts Biollante's damage pump, and makes it nigh impossible to block things. So Rayfilet is the main thing we want to build in with Hunter's Ally, and it's really, really just how we just shoot down people. So imagine playing a Hunter's Ally, building a Rayfilet, and then putting something face down in our card pool with Biollante, picking up a Growing Grasp, spend a momentum, pick up another Growing Grasp, and just go absolutely ham on people. For our foundation base, we have Biollante Arrives. This is mainly in here for the face downs don't count towards progressive to play this card static, so that if we string out a bunch of face downs and we didn't quite get there, we can still build this on like a 1 or a 2. And then as an enhance, we can flip it to add a power token to our stage. So if our rival cannot block anymore because we've clogged their card pool, or we've got Growing Grasp, we can just say, hey, I'm just going to sacrifice these power tokens and put a bunch of damage on things. Similarly with Blooming Beast, as a enhance, we can flip it, and face down cards don't count towards progressive difficulty to play any foundations for the turn. So again, if we just happen to whiff on our turn, we can just still build out a few foundations and not worry about committing too many resources going into our rival's turn. And it's a 6 check, which is pretty good. We've got Shin Godzilla Arrives. So this adds itself to our momentum as a cost during the enhance step, which is a great way to fuel Biollante's enhance, or to fuel the Echo on Rose Whip Barrage, or the Growing Grasp EX if for some reason we need that. But it's mainly in here to fuel Biollante and Rose Whip Barrage, so we can immediately snag that momentum. And again, this is another reason I put it on life. And then if a rival foundation happened to have been destroyed, we also gain a health and draw card, which is kind of neat. Out to Lunch. This is one of my favorite defensive pieces in Biollante. We just add it to the card pool face down to give our rival's attack -5 damage. And then we can give it more negative damage with Biollante. So if this is the only face down card we have in our card pool, this is minimum -6 damage to any given attack. And then we can Biollante, put a card in our card pool, pick up a card, and that's -7 damage total from one foundation and then picking up whatever card we want. So very, very powerful card here. We've got Guardian Angel of Chinatown. This can flip to protect our damage from being reduced. So when we have Growing Grasp being huge, or even if we have something like Rose Whip Barrage or Smokescreen Charge, if our rival tries to reduce our damage, we say, I don't think so. Frantic Rescue, I think this works really well with Biollante because we're trying to play a damage reduction base for our defense. And this says response flip if we take damage from an unblocked attack. Our rival's attacks get +1 difficulty for the remainder of the turn. So we can say, hey, I'm just going to damage reduce with Biollante. I'll take 3 or 4 damage. And then all of your attacks get harder to play for the rest of the turn. Really solid card. We've got End the Cycle. This is some speed hate because sometimes damage reduction doesn't quite get there. So this just says we can commit for -X speed. X equals the number of cards in all card pools combined. So we can just nerf an opponent's speed straight into the ground and then block, probably with like a rapid rescue, not a rapid rescue, plant tendrils, or a Smokescreen Charge, something with breaker. Or if we have to use something with a higher block modifier, like a 3 or, God forbid, a 4, it could just be a good way to protect ourselves. Moment of Normalcy, this is just always good here to return something to printed speed and damage, especially if we do this before we Biollante. So we can return it to printed damage and then damage reduce with Biollante, and just take almost nothing. We got Tusktooth Crew. This is an ally foundation that we can build in with Hunter's Ally. And it allows us to, once per turn, discard a card and draw a card, which is just good. We can pitch foundations and try to draw more attacks. And again, Hunter's Ally builds this in for free and just gives us another foundation to play. Defend the City. This is mainly here for the 1 high block and the 6 check, but it is some good stun hate, because as a tenacious or playable while committed response, we can flip this after any of our cards are committed due to a rival effect. We get to build the top card of our deck face down. So this kind of helps us build more, but like I said, it's mainly in here for the 6 check and the 1 high block as needed. We've got Second Wielder. This is another ally. This is why I wanted to build this off of life. We get a lot of the ally vestiges from the Izuku Midoriya Challenger series. So as a static, this says if our rival has at least 6 foundations, we can destroy that. We can sacrifice this card as if we were spending momentum to pay for EX and powerful abilities. So we do have the EX on Growing Grasp if need be. But also, we can commit it to flip 1 attack in our card pool to give an attack +3 speed. So we flip an attack in our card pool, give our attack 3 speed, and then that card that we just flipped counts towards Biollante's damage boost, which is just really, really solid. And then we have another ally vestige in 7th Wielder Float. As a response in our card pool, we get to flip it after a rival plays an ability that would clear a card from their card pool or remove a card from their card pool. We get to cancel it. But it's mainly here for the response flip at the start of the end phase, not just ours. We can flip this to add any face down card in our card pool to our hand. So if we've flipped a plant tendrils or a rapid rescue, we could pick up a breaker block. Or not, Smokescreen Charge. We could pick up a breaker block. If we flipped a Hunter's Ally with Second Wielder, we can pick that up and play it on our next turn. If we flipped a Growing Grasp for some reason, we can pick it up and play it on our next turn. So it's just really good for recurring that offense that we can then play on our next turn and not have to worry about our 5 hand size not drawing attacks as much. Masho Concealment, this is here mainly because it's an ally that we can build in with Hunter's Ally, but also we can commit it to cancel an enhance ability on a foundation. which means like we can say, oh, you tried to Moment of Normalcy me. No, you didn't. Sorry. I'm just going to cancel that. Some of these very powerful Reign of Kaiju foundations, we can just automatically cancel them and just say, yeah, you're not going to be able to play those abilities. Fast Friendships here for speed hate. If we have more face down foundations than our rival, we can get -3 speed, but it's mainly here because it's a one cost foundation. And then Syndicate Target's just good because it's a 0/6 with a 0 low block, and if we block with it, we do lose a health, but it's just here as a good stats card. But that is going to be it for my take 2 of Biollante, the giant plant monster. I think this character has a lot of cool different ways you can play them on all 3 of their symbols, but I chose to play the life kind of allies build with Hunter's Ally to see where that could take me, and I really think this is really a really strong way to play this character. Just any way that you can Hunter's Ally, build in Ray Fillet, and just say Biollante is just going to explode. You just tell your rival, welcome to the jungle, and just totally wreck face. But yeah, so thank you again to Dire Kiwi for the suggestion. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Biollante. Do you think they have what it takes to take down some of these local championships with characters like Titan of Terror, who is kind of going on a tear, but I think is mainly because it's a more simple and straightforward character. I think if people put... I just kicked my setup. I think if people do put the work into characters like Biollante and Mothra, you can absolutely hold your own against these big, aggressive, 6-hand characters. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. It would really help the channel out a lot. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.